Alrighty, as you guys can tell, there is a ton of information that we need to know as fitness professionals, and we want to make sure we are prepped and ready for any questions that come from our members and our clients, because the truth is, nowadays, everybody is researching online. Everybody has questions about why they're working out a certain way, or why they're doing a Sandy, and why they're working so hard. Why are they going to do this? So we just need to make sure that we're prepped to give results, and we're prepped to give reasons for why they're doing that. And I think one of the most important things is the form. So the next thing we're going to move to is on chapter 3 here. We're going to hit on the kinetic chain. So I'm going to talk about assessing your students. A quote that I heard from an Insanity instructor, the first Insanity training that I went to, Christy, her name is, she said, form gets results. Yes, amen. That is absolutely the biggest thing. If you're doing whatever you're doing wrong, you're going to be affecting other things. You're going to get injuries. It's going to set you back. So that is a huge, huge portion of our job, and especially representing Insanity, just to make sure that we're making all the students get the proper form. We're making the right cues for them. And so I want to cover this kinetic chain portion with you and kind of relate that to an analogy. Maybe that might help you remember. So there's 5 different checkpoints that I want to make sure that you remember. The first is the feet and ankles. That's where you're going to start the foundation. Second is going to be the knees. Third is going to be the lower back. Fourth is going to be the shoulders. And then the fifth is going to be head. So if you notice the way I went through those 5, we're starting with the bottom, with the base. So you've got to figure out where the base is before you can put anything else in line. Well, I know a lot of you had to travel for this certification, and I'm getting ready to travel now, so I thought this analogy would be perfect to relate with traveling. When you're traveling somewhere, there's going to be several different components, but let's just say there's 5 you want to think about. You want to know what your destination is, where you're going. That's got to be your base, otherwise you can't book a flight, you can't book a hotel, you can't figure out the rest of your plans, right? So if you think you got to know that destination, you got to know the time. You have to know where you're going to stay, or where your options to stay are. You want to know the cost, and you want to know the itinerary. So if you think about anything, whether it's traveling or your day task, anything you're going to do, this thing's got to happen before this thing happens, before this thing happens. So that's my little analogy for you to remember. Base portion, you got to start at that base. So when you're cueing, your feet and ankles, you want them straight and parallel. Your knees, you want them above the ankle. Your lower back and pelvis, you don't want your back rounded, you don't want it overly arched, so you want that back level. The fourth thing, your shoulders are going to be level, so you don't want to get any of these. You'll see a lot of different form mistakes that people are making. So again, you want to make sure the shoulders are level, and then the head is going to be nice and neutral, looking straight ahead. So really, if you think about that foundation, that's going to be the biggest thing. You got to find out where you're going first before you can get everything else in line to make sure you have proper form. So biggest thing, form gets results. I hope that's a big thing you guys take from today.